Welcome to Mark and Ted's History Adventures, where history is all around you. In fact, it's just off the road, waiting for you to discover. With Mark Hall-Patton, the beard of knowledge from History Channel's Pawn Stars, and me, Ted Faye, documentary filmmaker and desert storyteller. Together, Mark and I are hitting the back roads to uncover the untold stories of hidden places and forgotten people. From abandoned outposts to dusty legends, these are the stories you can still walk through, drive up to, and experience for yourself. So, grab your hat and pack some curiosity for an adventure into the real history of the American West. Join us for Mark and Ted's History Adventures. In this episode, Mark leads us up the road from Jean toward the historic town of Goodsprings. But before we get there, we make a quick stop at a desert cemetery. And wouldn't you know it, Mark spots a few familiar names on the headstones. Ones you just might remember from an earlier adventure.
The whole point is we're not actually in Goodsprings yet, but we were talking about George Fayle.
Correct.
And that's George Fayle's monument over there, and Jean Fayle is right over there. One for whom Jean is named.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's George.
Yes. And George, the whole thing about George is George is very important to the history of Goodsprings, to the history of Jean.
Right.
But George was also a county commissioner and died during the flu epidemic in 1918. Yes.
Yeah.
He was the most prominent individual in Clark County to die during the flu epidemic.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it was quite a blow. Quite a blow to Goodsprings because he had built the Pioneer Saloon, the Fayle Mercantile, the Fayle Hotel, all of this. He was a prominent individual.
It's kind of a cool place to start, actually.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're here, and here's George's, and I can't get over the fact that that's Jean.
Yes.
And our Jean that we talked about in one of the other episodes.
Exactly. And Jean, after George died, sold her holdings here because everything went to her.
Okay.
And she and her kids moved to California. And then they moved back here, married a deputy sheriff here.
Okay.
And she eventually died here in Las Vegas and was buried here next to George.
I was also curious, and it struck me as a little interesting, that their daughter is actually named Jean Nevada.
Yes. Think of how many times guys are named for their father. You obviously can be named for your mother.
There she is, along with George, her dad, and Jean, her mom.
Yep.
Could we fairly say that George Fayle was a developer?
He was the most important resident.
The most important resident.
Yes.
He brought business to Goodsprings.
Yes. He built the largest mercantile, the largest hotel, the one business that since 1913 has continued to function in the history of Goodsprings, which is the Pioneer Saloon.
Gotcha. So, that's where we need to go.
Yes.
We definitely need to hit the Pioneer Saloon.
Yes.
For probably more than one reason. And let's go. Let's head to Goodsprings.
I like it.
All right, off we go. Mark, we're outside of the Pioneer Saloon.
Yes, we are.
This is really a historic place. I love it. They have great food, by the way. Great food.
Yeah, they
Enjoy
do.
the burgers and everything.
Yeah.
Really good. So, but tell me a little bit about this place, what we're looking at, and our boy George.
Well, we've been talking about George. This is his first business that he built by himself. That was his business. This was built in 1913, and it's still functioning, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
It closed down for a little while, of course, during Prohibition, and was turned into an ice cream parlor for a while, and a soda shop for a while, various things like that, and was closed for I want to say a year, maybe.
Okay.
At one point, but no more than that. It was otherwise open for, almost since it was initially opened, which
Right.
is amazing. Then it was opened back up in the 40s as a saloon and has been a saloon ever since.
Yep.
George had this. He had the Fayle Hotel up the street here. He had the Fayle Mercantile on the other side of the street. He had these different businesses, and had he not been caught by the great flu epidemic in 1918, I think he would have continued to build this town. He really believed in it.
He really believed.
He was, a county commissioner. He was promoting the town. This was something that he really believed in, and I really like seeing this again, since this was the plaque that I put up when I was humbug here.
Well, I was going to mention that. So this particular plaque, just like the plaque down at Jean,
Yes.
is a plaque that was put here by Eclampus Vitus,
Yes,
an
it is.
organization that you can look up. We may talk a little bit about it at some point. We can't give you all the details.
Well,
right?
what we can say is it's a men's historical fraternity, and we believe in history, and we are serious about history, but not much else.
What else here about the Pioneer Saloon is fascinating for folks?
What most people think about is the Carole Lombard crash.
Yeah.
And the Carole Lombard crash is in 1941, in December. Carole Lombard is sent, because she insists on it, by her husband, Clark Gable, on a war bond drive. And Clark Gable is in charge of sending stars out to sell war bonds, to fund the war effort.
And these two were Hollywood elite.
Oh yeah, and
very famous. They were
very
the most...
very much in love.
Right.
And Hollywood elite. But she had been on this war bonds drive.
Yeah.
She was coming back. She wanted to get home. She makes it to Phoenix. She wants to get home, so she and her mother and another person in her party bumped 3 soldiers from this flight. Now, this didn't happen, but she was so famous, she was able to bump 3 soldiers and get on this flight, and it was a TWA flight, but all the commercial flights in the US during the war were controlled by the military. You didn't fly unless the military said you could fly.
I didn't even know that.
Oh, yes.
The military, the military controlled all passenger flights?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
And so they're flying out of, it's TWA, so they're flying out of Phoenix, and TWA flew into Boulder City at that time.
Okay.
But it's after dark. Boulder City didn't have any lights on their airfield.
No lights on the field.
So they couldn't fly into there. So they flew into the Las Vegas Army Air Base, which was the old Western Air Express field.
Okay.
Okay, we think of that as Nellis Air Force Base today.
Oh, that's where Nellis is.
Yes, that's where Nellis is.
Okay.
That was the original McCarran field.
Okay.
But it's Nellis today. So they fly into there, they refuel, takes them a couple of hours, and then they fly out.
Okay.
But the headings that they were using were TWA's headings. And as they fly out, they're using headings that are 2 degrees off, because they're headings based on flying out of Boulder City. Now there's no lights on, we're in blackout conditions, and they fly straight into Double Up Peak.
Wow.
And they're going full bore, it's a fully loaded flight, everybody on the flight is killed. The entire flight crew, everybody on the flight, all 21 passengers are killed. The flight disappears. People don't know what's happened. Now, there are witnesses that see a bright flash on the side of the mountain, ranchers here. And so the word gets back that something terrible has happened. The flight does not make it to Los Angeles like it's supposed to. Clark Gable is obviously worried out of his mind, he and his manager drive to Las Vegas.
Oh, boy.
And the story is that he stays here at the Pioneer Saloon. Well, he doesn't, unfortunately.
He doesn't. Yeah.
But that's the story,
That's the
is that
story.
he stays here.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually stays in Las Vegas at one of the properties there. But when they finally reach the crash site, it's terrible. It's in the snow. It's very hard to reach the site. Everyone is dead. There are no survivors.
Oh my gosh.
And he just doesn't forgive himself, because he's the one that sent his wife on this trip.
On the tour, yeah.
And it's a terrible thing for him.
Truly a Hollywood tragedy,
Yeah.
and an American tragedy, really, at that,
Oh, it was
at that time.
and it affected Clark Gable for the rest of his life.
The rest of his life. Yep. Well, there were other happier times in Goodsprings, and let's take a look at where some of those places were, like the hotel and some of those other historic places. Let's take a look. All right.
Okay, I
All right.
brought you down here because you know, there's not a whole lot there.
Yeah.
But
There's
this,
a cool windmill, though.
well, yeah, but that's a little newer.
Newer. It hasn't been.
But this is actually, this entire block was where the Fayle Hotel was.
Oh, this is where the hotel was.
Yeah, and if you can imagine it, you have to imagine
Yeah.
a 2-story hotel
Yeah.
that filled this block.
Wow.
That was a good size hotel.
That's huge, actually.
Yeah, and it had electric lights, it had hot and cold running water.
Wow. So when was this built?
This was built in 1916.
Okay.
So a hotel of that size,
Yeah.
they were really planning on Goodsprings being as big as Las Vegas.
Wow.
You know, this was what George had in mind. This is the kind of vision that he had for this place. This was bigger than anything that was in Las Vegas at that point.
Wow.
You know,
nice big 2-story hotel.
Yeah.
Probably had a ballroom of some kind.
Oh, yes.
And
had all the amenities. This was going to be something. Had a nice modern school, only 2 classrooms, which they still
there was
use.
a school here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that school's still used to this day.
It's a more modern building, but but it's still only 2 classrooms.
2 classrooms.
Yep.
Okay.
You know, but at that point, it had the Goodsprings Gazette had its own newspaper.
Yeah.
It was a going concern.
And Goodsprings is really a cool place to come because the saloon is here. You can sort of touch the history when you go in. We'll show you shots of the inside of it. And it is a really bit of a time capsule right here.
Yeah. Still a neat place to come to.
Still a neat place to come. So we'll give you all the directions. You'll be able to come out and find it here at Goodsprings.
We'll take you to some more places.
Oh yeah, we're going to take them some more places too. Yeah.